Hello friends, myself Ashwini. In this video, we will study about the process of the ketogenesis. Ketogenesis means nothing but the synthesis or formation of ketone bodies. First, we will see what is the meaning of ketone bodies. Ketone bodies means nothing but the water soluble molecule which contains keto group in their structure is known as the ketone bodies. There are three molecules collectively known as the ketone bodies. In that, first one is the acetoacetate, second one is the acetone, and third one is the d-beta hydroxybutyrate. Now we will see the site for production of ketone bodies. Ketone bodies are produced in the mitochondrial matrix of liver cells. Here are some conditions in which ketone bodies are produced. In that, first one is the when person is on fasting, second one is when person taking carbohydrate restricted diet, third one is when person is on starvation, fourth one is when person is suffering from prolonged intense exercise, fifth one is when person is suffering from type 2 diabetes mellitus. If you will focus on all these conditions, you can realize that in all these conditions blood glucose level is low and body's requirement for glucose is high. For fulfillment of body's requirement for glucose, body require alternative product for glucose. In such a condition, body can use ketone bodies as an energy source. For this, body will start the beta oxidation of fatty acid and get a one molecule of a acetyl coenzyme A. This acetyl coenzyme A will enter into the citric acid cycle, and from there they can produce a molecule of a ATP. Otherwise, when the molecule of a acetyl coenzyme A are produced in a higher quantity, in such a condition all molecules of a acetyl coenzyme A cannot enter into the citric acid cycle. Hence, remaining molecule of a acetyl coenzyme A will be enter in the process of formation of ketone bodies, and from there they will get these three molecules. Out of these three molecules, acetone is a volatile substance which cannot be metabolized by the body. Hence, it will get enter into the blood, and from blood they will get reach into the lungs, and from lungs they will get exhaled. The first two ketone bodies, that is acetoacetate and beta hydroxybutyrate, will be utilized by the extrahepatic tissues like a heart, skeletal muscles, kidney and brain as an energy source in replacement of the glucose. Ketone bodies can be used as an energy source, but fatty acid cannot be used as an energy source. Why? Because ketone bodies are used as an energy source because it is a water soluble molecule and can cross blood brain barrier easily, but fatty acid cannot cross it because it is in a bound state with albumin. Hence, it cannot used for a energy source. Now, we will see the mechanism of production of ketone bodies. Ketone body production will be started from the two molecule of acetyl coenzyme A. Here you can see that the two molecules of acetyl coenzyme A will be combined together, get condensed and produces a one molecule of acetoacetyl CoA. This reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme, that is thiolase. This is exactly like and reversible reaction like a thiolysis, which is the last one reaction of beta oxidation process. In this reaction, a one molecule of coenzyme A will be released and produces a molecule of acetoacetyl CoA. In the next step, acetoacetyl CoA will again combine with the acetyl CoA and produces a molecule of HMG CoA. This reaction is catalyzed by the HMG CoA synthase. This is the regulatory step because it requires more time. In the next step, the HMG CoA molecule will get broken down and produces two molecules. In that, first one is the acetoacetate and second one is the acetyl CoA. This HMG CoA releases one molecule of acetyl CoA. This reaction is catalyzed by the HMG CoA lyase. Because of that enzyme, one molecule, here you can see that this part of the structure which contains acetyl CoA will be released from the HMG CoA and produces acetoacetate and acetyl CoA. Acetoacetate means nothing but the primary ketone body. From primary ketone body, that is acetoacetate, we can obtain two molecules, two other ketone bodies, in which first one is the D-beta hydroxybutyrate and acetone. When acetoacetate will be acted by the D-beta hydroxybutyrate dehydrogenate, it will produce D-beta hydroxybutyrate. This reaction is reversible, means what? You can get D-beta hydroxybutyrate from acetoacetate, and you also can get acetoacetate from D-beta dehydroxybutyrate. When acetoacetate will be acted by the second enzyme, that is acetoacetate decarboxylase, we can get a molecule of acetone. In the next step, this acetone is nothing but the volatile substance, as we seen earlier. This is the volatile substance, that's why it cannot be metabolized inside the body. Hence it will get enter into the blood, and through blood they will get enter into the lungs, and after that it will be exhaled. But these two ketone bodies, that is D-beta hydroxybutyrate and acetoacetate, are utilized by the extrahepatic tissue as an energy source. Now we will see the utilization of ketone bodies. Ketone bodies are utilized in body mainly in two conditions. In that, first one is the when person is on starvation, and second one is the when person is suffering from type 2 diabetes mellitus. What is happening exactly in these two conditions? So, in case of a starvation, blood glucose level and glycogen level is decreased because carbohydrate intake of that person is decreased, and because of that glucose and glycogen level is decreased in the blood. After that, body will get started beta oxidation process of fatty acid for obtaining ketone bodies, which will be used as a energy source. In the next step, that is type 2 diabetes mellitus, means resistance of cell to the insulin, and because of that resistance, glucose molecule cannot be enter into the cell. Because of that also the glucose molecules are decreased inside the cell, and for that also body started the production of ketone bodies, which will be obtained by the beta oxidation process of fatty acid. After the completion of beta oxidation process of fatty acid, one molecule of acetyl coenzyme A will be obtained, and from that molecule body can produce ketone bodies, which is nothing but the acetoacetate, D-beta hydroxybutyrate and acetone. Acetone will be exhaled through lungs, and acetoacetate and D-beta hydroxybutyrate can be utilized as an energy source. Now we will see the whole process of utilization of ketone bodies. This process will be started from the D-beta hydroxybutyrate molecule. From D-beta hydroxybutyrate, it will get converted into the acetoacetate. This reaction is catalyzed by the beta hydroxybutyrate dehydrogenase. During this reaction, a molecule of NAD will get reduced into the NADH plus H plus. In the next step, the molecule of acetoacetate will be converted into the acetoacetyl-CoA. This reaction is catalyzed by the beta ketoacyl-CoA transferase. During this reaction, for conversion of the acetoacetate into the acetoacetyl-CoA, we require one molecule of a CoA. This will be obtained from the succinyl-CoA. A molecule of succinyl-CoA will be released from the a molecule of a CoA will be released from the molecule of a succinyl-CoA and will get attached to the acetoacetyl-CoA, and succinyl-CoA will get converted into the molecule of succinate. This reaction is also, this enzyme is also called as the thiopherase, which is absent in liver. Hence, we can say that the conversion of acetoacetate into the acetoacetyl-CoA cannot occur inside the liver. Hence, ketone bodies cannot be utilized in the liver. Why? Because the enzyme which is responsible for conversion of acetoacetate into the acetoacetyl-CoA is absent in liver. That's why the utilization of ketone body cannot be observed in liver. This acetoacetyl-CoA will again converted into two molecules of the acetyl CoA will be again converted into 2 molecules of acetyl CoA. This reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme, that is thiolase. During this reaction, a molecule of CoA will be added, and these 2 molecules of acetyl CoA enter into the Krebs cycle. Now we will see the overproduction of ketone bodies, which is nothing but the ketosis. When overproduction of ketone bodies will be observed, when synthesis is higher and utilization is lower, means maximum production of ketone body will be observed and utilization of this ketone body is less as compared to the synthesis. In such a condition, overproduction of ketone bodies will be observed. When these ketone bodies will be observed or accumulated in the body, then it is called as the ketonemia. And when these accumulated ketone bodies will enter into the urine and observed in the urine, then this is called as the ketonuria. These both processes combinedly called as the ketosis. Acetone, as we know that the acetone is a volatile substance, that is why it will get exhaled through the lungs. So, patient can smell of acetone in breath, and in case of a ketonuria and acetones, in case of a ketonuria, we can observe first 2 ketone bodies, that is acetoacetate and D-beta hydroxybutyrate molecule in urine and in blood, and in a case of acetone you can smell like acetone